I'm a fan of pricing higher than my competitors. There's a saying somewhere that, and when things are going good, you should run ads. When things are going bad, you must run ads. And since I have a higher price point than a lot of them, I feel like I'm protected.
Coffee's for closers only.
So we've established my proposal is sound in principle. Now we're just haggling over price.
Let's see how much we're going for on eBay.
Man, it's the same as Dunkin' Donuts. Costs 15 times the price.
Welcome to Impact Pricing, the podcast where we discuss pricing, value, and the magical relationship between them. I'm Mark Stiving. Today our guest is Carlos Alvarez. Here are 3 things you want to know about Carlos before we start. He's founder and CEO of Bluebird Media and Marketing Solutions. He's the founder of Wizards of Amazon. What an awesome name. And he is an Amazon marketing consultant and teacher. Welcome, Carlos.
What's going on, Mark? Yes, thank you so much. Wizards of Amazon, the name came from just totally random. A few friends of mine hanging out, having a drink. I said it, and they said, that's awesome. And I said, the domain's not going to be available for that. And I looked on GoDaddy, and there you go.
Oh man, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so I want to tell my listeners real quickly. Almost always when I start one of these podcasts, I pretty much know where we're going to go and what we're going to talk about. In all honesty, I have no idea where this is going to go. And so I'm excited to learn about Amazon business, trying to compete on Amazon. I assume we'll also talk a little bit about eBay if we need to as we go through this. So you teach people how to play or how to compete on Amazon. What are there 2, 3, 4 different business models that you tend to teach? Just one business model?
I'd say there's 4 or 5. Private label, which creating your own brand, which is 85% of my Amazon business. And then we have wholesale, which is really just Amazon resellers purchasing from brands wholesale to resell at a profit on Amazon. Mm-hmm. Then there's an arbitrage model, either retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, where people are finding deals in stores or online and then flipping them, reselling them at a profit. Merch by Amazon, which is about going on 4 years old at this point, which is Amazon's print on demand channel. And finally would be self-publishing. So I don't mean writing a Stephen King novel. It's pretty popular actually for people to hire ghostwriter virtual assistants to crank out books on specific topics, upload them to Amazon for free, and then make royalty commissions off them moving forward. So those 5 are predominantly the channels that I teach.
So the last 2 I don't get. So let's talk about the first 3 first.
Sure. That works. I love the way you think. You caught me off guard there. That's good. I love it.
So on the private label, describe what you actually mean by that.
Private label's a term that was created by, I don't know who in the Amazon scene, to say, I'm going to get a product usually from overseas or China or wherever, but it can be domestic. Getting a product from overseas, putting your own brand name on it, maybe your own fancy, nice packaging, and importing that into the country. So that's yours. You had to purchase the GS1 UPC barcode. You needed to create the packaging. You probably got a trademark on the name. You have a little bit of IP there, a little bit of skin in the game. You create your photos. Hopefully you do some good branding and social media, and you don't neglect everything real world marketing. Some people just look at Amazon though, and you launch that product on Amazon. It's yours. It's an asset. If you do really well, you could sell it. You can exit. If you don't do well, you went all in.
And typically you buy inventory for that business model.
Absolutely. For the private label model, yes, you buy inventory.
Yeah. So it's a higher risk model, but probably a higher reward model as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you go all in.
Yeah.
Well, you don't go all in with your whole 401k, but whatever you put in, if it doesn't work, you lost.
Understood. And so I was coaching a company the other day, and one of the reasons why I find this topic so fascinating is they were incredibly successful selling their product on Amazon. And that was the only place they sold it. They didn't sell it anywhere else. And then Amazon decided they were going to create a version of that and sell it as an Amazon Basics. And
Sure.
Other people entered into their marketplace, and they're asking, well, how do I hold my price up with that? So how should they be thinking about that?
Well, the majority of people that get into private label on Amazon, unfortunately, that's really what they do. Amazon's the end all be all. And when somebody buys from you on Amazon, they're really not your customer. They're Amazon's customer, which is why I think it behooves you to create off Amazon marketing landing pages, email, social media, so that you can air quotes here, own that customer. It's your business's customer. The people that don't do that and that are in a, let's just call it a bath towel, a white bath towel. That's something that almost every household has. If they successfully sell white bath towels on Amazon, when Amazon Basics decides, we're getting into bath towels, that's the one they're going to pick. Now, if this person was into, just multicolored psychedelic bath towels.
Tie-dye. Can we do tie-dye bath towels?
Tie-dye. Yeah, we'll do tie-dye. Tie-dye. We'll do tie-dye bath towels. Amazon's not going to enter that. It's too small. If you're selling ketchup, yeah, Amazon's probably going to sell their own ketchup, but they're not going to sell turmeric infused ketchup. It's not a big enough market. So it's something you need to pay attention to when you're selling private label. And some people like to demonize Amazon on that. I'd like to say if I was Amazon and I saw that this was doing good, I would want to sell that too.
Well, and Amazon has all the data to see what's selling. They're in such a fantastic position from that perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
And so how do you recommend, let's say I'm selling a white bath towel and I sell it on Amazon, someone decides to buy from me. How do I get them? Obviously, I'm going to deliver through Amazon and all that, but how do I get them off the Amazon platform onto my platform world, whatever I've built on the outside world?
Sure. I would start thinking before the sale first, so that, say you're running Facebook ads or you have a local meetup on the topic or farmers markets, trade shows, it just goes on, that wherever you're running your ads or your traffic to is some sort of landing page. And perhaps on that landing page, you're offering a discount code there that they can enter their email address for. They can then use that code and go to Amazon for it. So if they want the code, they're going to give you a real email because they need to receive it. And then when they receive it, they can use that code on Amazon. But at least there you've pixeled them, you have their email address, and you can continue the relationship. Now post Amazon becomes a little trickier because now you're playing with a little bit of Amazon's terms of service, and it's their customer. So they don't want you reaching out to them outside of the buyer seller message board. You're not allowed to ever redirect them to a website off of Amazon. They don't even want Amazon customers to feel like they're being sold to. So there's no way to really upsell them without flirting with breaking the rules. What a lot of people do is they'll put like an insert, like follow us on social media or go here to get a warranty. But who would get a warranty on a bath towel, right?
Right.
So something that's working well for me, but I'm really in the experimental stage on it. I don't know if your listeners listen to this 6 months from now, like that's horrible. And is Amazon's really invested in Alexa, and hopefully I have mine paused. Yeah, I do. So they're really invested in Alexa. So I've been creating flash briefings and Alexa custom skills so that I can get the customers who already have their card loaded on Alexa and funnel them that way. Because now I can continue the relationship via voice.
Yeah. So the key is to somehow build that relationship. And it's so funny, let's step away from Amazon for a second. Anybody who's selling through a distribution channel, they don't own the customer.
Sure.
And you got to find a way to own the customer if you're going to build this relationship and do the upsell, cross-sell, continued relationship with them. So excellent. What's the resale business? When you say resale, what does that mean?
I throw that word in there in the Amazon space. If you're amongst a bunch of Amazon sellers, we just call it wholesaling. But if you're not accustomed to selling or you don't know about selling on Amazon, that's going to sound weird. Because wholesaling is really if you have products and you are wholesaling them to other resellers or stores. In Amazon, as Amazon sellers, we refer to it as wholesaling, which is identifying products on Amazon based on their bestseller ranking and a few other, I don't want to totally geek out here on this, but based on a few other factors on the page that allow us to determine approximately how many sales is this product having per day on Amazon, how many sellers are truly competing on that best price, adding your number to that mix, and then dividing to determine what your share of sales could be. And you're like, okay, well, I see that I can get 10 sales per day on X product. Let me now contact, but you don't know if that's a good thing or not, because if you can't buy it at a profit, then it's a dud. So now you go online, you find the brand, you call them, you email them, and you open up that account with them. And you're like, look, I'm the best thing since peanut butter. I have a small business in blank, blank, blank. I'd like to resell your products. They say yes. They give you a price list, and you realize, okay, now I would sell 10 of these a day at $6 profit per. And they're like, wow, this is like a little mortgage here. I like this. So what else do you have? What else do you have in your catalog? And you then order from them, ship it to FBA, and resell it. So that's why I call it as a reseller. An advantage there is unlike private label, you don't take the photos, you didn't do the marketing. There was already an established velocity and demand on Amazon, and you're just piggybacking.
So what's FBA mean?
Fulfillment by Amazon. It's Amazon's network of warehouses. So if you were living in a trailer or an efficiency, but you wanted to grow this business that had 10,000 SKUs and required a 25,000 square foot warehouse, you wouldn't need it. You would just send those products to FBA, their warehouses. They warehouse it. They charge you a very, very small fee for that. And then when a sale comes, they pack it, they ship it, and they deliver it to the customer in 2 days.
Yep. Okay. So I have to say, as a pricing person, I despise that business model.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure you do.
And the reason is because what we're doing is we're going out and matching whatever the lowest price is out there, as opposed to trying to create value and find ways to sell at higher prices. We're just saying, oh, look, there's an opportunity. And in fact, it kind of reminds me of a Bezos quote. Your margin is my opportunity.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right, which is why I gravitate more towards private label. I like creating that brand, adding value, selling it. I like having more control.
Yeah.
The reselling and arbitrage model. If you don't like reselling, you're going to hate arbitrage.
Well, I'm not actually, I think I like arbitrage, but if I know what it is, let's hear about arbitrage and I'll tell you why I think I like it.
Okay. So the example I give to new sellers selling on Amazon, and for you, this will be 101, but arbitrage is really just, if I'm going to use Miami as an example because I'm from Miami, but if on the west side of Miami, they're selling oranges for $1, and on the east side of Miami, they're selling them for $3, and you can buy them and resell them to this other person who's going to resell it at a profit. Of those price differences, you are doing arbitrage. Now in Amazon, you have retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. The difference is retail is you're walking into the store, but you can do this in almost any store. You scan the barcode of the product with Amazon's app, and it will tell, or there's some other paid apps, but the Amazon app is free and it's good. And it will tell you this is selling for this on Amazon. And you look at the shelf and you see, okay, I could get this for $4. Amazon, it says it's selling for 16. After fees, I'm going to be left with 12 as an example. I really like that model. You add it to your shopping cart and you continue doing that in the retail store. Online, and then you send it to FBA. Online, you would use hopefully tools, unless you're just a masochist. You would go through these Target.com and all these other stores. You'd scrape them with a tool. It would put it in like a Google sheet. And then you would be able to filter, what makes sense, what doesn't. Same principle though. You see, I can get this for $4 delivered to my house for free online. I could sell it for 16, same thing.
Nice. And so why I like that model? And I'm not sure that makes sense, but I like it because I think the person doing the work, oh God, maybe I don't. I was gonna say, I think the person doing the work is adding value to the channel, but what they're really doing is they're finding the lowest price, the products that are available at lower prices out there.
Yeah, they're finding pricing inefficiencies with retail stores just because they're just so far behind, and some still resisting e-commerce and Amazon as a whole.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like or dislike it, except I'm still going to sell at the most aggressive price, probably.
Yeah, well, if the other models outside of private label, if you want to sell this widget for 20 and everyone's selling it for 15, you just won't get any sales.
Yep.
So,
Okay. Makes sense. What's merch?
merch, probably one of the newest, most attractive models that Amazon has. I don't believe anything is get rich quick, but this has to be the closest thing to a money tree in Amazon that I've seen.
Okay, wait. If the audience suddenly hears a beep, it's because I didn't want to share it with you. But go ahead.
Okay, that's good. I'm stealing that for my podcast.
Right. Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to say with merch, how could I say this? Well, it's print on demand. They did not invent print on demand. And
We talking
imagine
about books?
no, shirts. That'll be self-publishing. They do books as well.
Yeah.
But this is shirts, hoodies, sweaters. Now they have pop sockets and they're rolling out more stuff. You're going to either create a design or hire a VA and get a design created. And you're going to drag and drop it on this shirt template or whatever template you pick. Pick 5 colors that you think look good with yours. All super easy to do. Add a title, 2 bullets, and hit enter. When you do, within 24 to 48 hours, that shirt will be available to sell on Amazon with all of its traffic. And you set the price that you want this shirt to sell, and you're in charge of doing all of your marketing and advertising. Say you set the price at $19.99, which is a sweet spot, I feel. You're going to make a royalty when it sells of about $7.25. But you do not buy any shirt stock. You do not ship. There is no fee for the program. You don't do anything. You don't even deal with returns. You're not even responsible for returns. So it's really, now it's a numbers game. When you first get in that program, you have 10 slots or tier 1. You need to get an aggregate of 10 sales and within a 30-day period. And then they'll bump you up to tier 25, opening up 15 more slots. And you keep going to where you have thousands of slots. And it's great. I'm up to about a little over 15,000 designs that are up there. And technically, I would have to do some lifestyle changes, but technically at this point, I could pay all of my bills with it.
Wow. So audience, expect an impact pricing t-shirt to be up really soon.
Yes.
I have no idea if I'm going to go through that effort, but I still find it totally fascinating. Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
So if I could create a saying, whatever the saying happens to be, right? Win more deals at higher prices is something I say a lot, right? And people love that and they want to wear it on their t-shirts. And so I could put that up on an Amazon merch program and it didn't really take any time. People can buy it and it puts money in my pocket.
Yes.
Gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I don't treat it like a business. And if I did, it would just make so much more. I have this really as a side thing on Amazon, but the revenues that it makes, and if you did treat it like a business or dedicate some time to it, then it could be a lot more attractive than even what I said.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. I love that. That's worth the price of this podcast. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
So, okay. Last one, self-publishing. Let's hear.
Self-publishing used to exist on 2 platforms on Amazon, createspace.amazon.com and kdp.amazon.com, Kindle Direct Publishing. They merged the 2 to where it's all now KDP. So just in case I mention CreateSpace, you have an idea that I just had a little brain fart or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Amazon began with books, we all know, but Amazon is also the largest self-publisher in the world by far. And you can upload, just simple as a Word document that you uploaded, you can upload your book and within 48 hours it'll be available for purchase. Now that could be a paperback that they print, bind, and send. That could be a Kindle book that you want to sell. You could have it interpreted or translated into other languages using someone on Fiverr or Upwork or I guess your freelancer site of choice. And next thing you know, you're selling your How to Grow Tomatoes Indoors book in Germany. You can have an audiobook format. If you're handy with videos, you could create videos and upload it and it will be available on Amazon Prime Video Direct. Endless. You can create CDs for people that still use CDs. And now same thing, you set a price, you make a royalty off each sale.
Okay, so I wrote a book in 2011. I'm writing another book or two right now. And I got to say, this one doesn't sound as easy because writing a book is really hard. And then from what I remember the first time we published it, writing it was probably the easiest part,
Sure.
right? Then getting somebody to edit it and do the page layout and the cover designs. And I mean, there's so much that goes into making a good looking book. I can't imagine me just uploading a Word document. I mean, it's got to be way more to it than that.
Most definitely. I should have clarified in the beginning that if you're like, I'm trying to create a book and I've been trying to create it for 5 years. Yeah, it's a painstaking process, but I don't have any books up under my name just because of that. Maybe it's that, perfectionist thing but oh, absolutely. I don't want to take away from the writing process. Being an author, that is a hard process. You got to get the right editors. What I'm referring to mostly in Amazon self-publishing as a channel to make some money is a very popular model on Amazon, which is you are hiring a virtual assistant at an entire book uploaded on Amazon will run you $225 and you'll make royalties on it for life. And you're going to go ahead and hire someone on Upwork that already knows how to crank out these 25 to 50 page books and pick a topic. Maybe it's a topic that's kind of related to your industry. Maybe it's totally unrelated. A good friend of mine has almost 200 books published that are on paranormal erotic romance. I mean, and this is a straight-laced person. You'd never guess these things fly. And the costs, I mean, you recoup your costs within like 5 to 6 months, and then you're just making interest in a way is how I look at it. You're just getting paid interest for life on these things. So I mean, using a ghostwriter, structuring it so the ghostwriter knows that this is your content now that you're going to be reselling, getting the editor also. You can go all in on a book for $225. Editor, cover art, 25 to 50 pages that are written. I do put that in a category separate from you're an author writing your own book. I imagine if you were going to write a book on pricing, you're not going to hire that out to some random person for $50 because you're not going to have your name on that. And that's where I'm at with the book I'd like to write. But as a just selling channel, similar to print on demand merch, that's where I was coming from.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm not going to do that one. That's okay. I might with my own book if I can't get a good publisher for it, or if I choose not to use a good publisher for it. But
something you mentioned though, like the easy part about writing the book, the marketing of the actual book is, it's an art. Amazon has a very robust ad platform that you can take advantage of, and most people don't know how to take advantage of. So there would be a benefit there.
Yeah. So I could see that. Now I don't know about you and what your goals are for your business. In my world, we tend to write books, not because we're going to make money on it, because we almost never do. We write books because it generates leads, it builds brand, it builds reputation. So that's at least in my mind, the reason I do this.
Yeah. So since there's a pricing, this is about pricing. One cool thing about the Kindle is a lot of people, and again, depending on your business model, you probably wouldn't want to do this, but you can sell your Kindle books for free. And if you're an unknown author and your model is to crank out a lot of books, it's strange because you go on Amazon and you see all these Kindle books for free and you're like, well, how does that work? And what happens is when somebody downloads your book, and they're much more likely to download it and take a risk on it when it's free, Amazon's going to pay you a royalty for that download and the amount of pages consumed. So it can be a very lucrative model, and everyone feels like they won. Also with Kindle, you can add links. So you can do a form of lead gen there, send people to a landing page, to your YouTube, to your podcast.
There's just not enough time to do everything. That's the problem. So tell me, we're gonna have to wrap up here in just a second, but what is your business? How do you make money? Well, I guess you make money selling merch. I know that, but
I have five private label brands myself. I've been selling full time for 14 and a half years. One of my, I guess, quirkiest, or the one that a lot of people in my space know me for, is I have a brand of live insects. Well, I'm going to be a brand. One of my things that I sell is live insects. And the live insect brand alone did over $40 million in gross sales last year on Amazon. So it's one of those strange, niches that you get into and you're like, okay, I'm here, I'm doing good. But I also have other physical product brands that I make money on, and then the marketing, consulting, management side of the business for other sellers. So yeah, that's where my money comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I would find the marketing, the teaching other people how to do this fascinating and fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. All right, Carlos, thank you so much for your, wait. I always end with a question, even though you're not a pricing guy. What's one piece of pricing advice you would give our listeners that you think could have a big impact on their business?
That's an awesome question. I know after this, I'm going to have like 10 better answers, but I probably have to go with the cheesy one if it's a pricing one, which is buy low, sell high. I mean, does that?
Oh, there we go. That sounds like arbitrage, doesn't it?
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
Let me see. Pricing advice. God, nothing witty, but I'm a fan of pricing higher than my competitors. For me, I love ads. I love running ads. There's a saying somewhere that, in normal, and when things are going good, you should run ads. When things are going bad, you must run ads. So right now with things the way they are, I'm doubling down on my ads, while other people are stopping. And since I have a higher price point than a lot of them, I feel like I'm protected some by that. So,
yeah, and as times come back, you'll take off and grow much faster than they will.
Definitely. And on Amazon, while people do price cheaper, it's very price sensitive. There's a lot of industries, if my wife was, we have 2 young kids, and if she was looking for a new anti-colic nipple to go on the bottle, and we saw one thing for $4.99 and another one for $25, we would buy the $25 one because it's just not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want a $4 nipple in my kid's mouth. It's so something, not everything on Amazon is going to be affected that way.
Yeah, exactly. And my pricing advice is always try to figure out how you're going to make value, and value is often perceived, right? The value could be a perception, and higher price says it's a higher quality, or it could be higher quality photos or higher quality text, right? I love the text that you read that is from someone who doesn't speak English.
Right.
So
what's that example with the Yeti, the Yeti, the high priced Yeti tumbler or rambler, a mug?
The mug?
It's like a $50 mug. Walmart has an identical mug, same factory, and I think it's $6. So,
yeah. But do you believe it? Come on, it's Walmart.
Right.
All right, Carlos, I have enjoyed this a ton. Thank you very much for your time. If anyone wants to contact you, how can they do that?
I guess 3 best ways. If you're on Facebook, Wizards of Amazon Facebook group, Instagram at Wizards of Amazon. And I'd love to text with you or chat on the phone. My number is 305-902-1283.
All right. Episode 64 is done. My favorite part of today's podcast had to be learning about merch. I might actually try that one. What was your favorite part? Please let us know in the comments or wherever you download and listen to the podcast. While you're at it, would you please give us a 5-star review? Those help us immensely. It helps other people find us. Don't forget, we have the free community for all of the content that I create and put out. It is at community.championsofvalue.com. If you have any questions or comments about the podcast or about pricing in general, feel free to reach out to me, Mark at impactpricing.com. Now, go make an impact.